Lights, camera, action.
In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film.
Cut.
That's not the script. It. We'll fix it in post. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Mumphrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It. We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you're listening or watching, I thank you for doing so. I'm Kevin Mumphrey once again, and this is Fuck It. We'll Fix It in Post. I'm here with my colleagues, Victoria V.A. Jones
What's going on?
and Karsten Hyde Ferguson.
Yes.
We have a guest here today from the Atlanta area. She goes by the name of TQ. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Excellent.
It's
See, I
summer,
love
so
that. Excellent. Just
it's hot as hell. So that's
yeah. I don't even think we peaked yet, though.
We have
no.
not.
We just feeling a little bit of it, but it's coming. It's gonna get hot. I
Yeah.
have a feeling.
Just
Wait till July.
I'd rather. Well, it'll be here before you know.
Kevin can't wait.
Absolutely not. Yay. But let us begin. Let's just start off. Where did your love of film begin?
My love for
Yeah.
film began. Man, so I probably am gonna have an interesting story because
We like
it's
those.
okay. So technically, when I was like high school, junior high school, I've done a little bit of film internships, you can say, like, just sporadic something to do for school. I was always, I'm an engineer by day, aerospace. So that was always the trajectory in my life, was like the technical side of my brain.
No pun
So we
intended.
needed, I know, right?
Yeah.
And then I had to sit there and was like, okay, I need extracurriculars, and there was some film things, and I did it, and it was cool. And then it was like 15, 20 years. I never thought about it. I'm gonna be honest, I never thought about it. I took a new position at my job, and they set me down in Atlanta for some Women's History Month event, and I met a director. Was just in the vicinity. He was filming, and he said, "Hey, would you like to be an actress on something I'm doing?" And I thought he was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I'm a
that could go
nerd.
wrong. That
Right.
could
Yeah,
go
I was
badly.
like, I'm a nerd. What are we talking about? I do engineering. This is not in my swim lane. And then I got there, and it was just ever since, So it's sort of like reconnecting back with a part of me that I forgot about.
So
So
what
I
was
don't know,
the
like the word, fall in love yet. I don't know where that
No.
is, because it's like
I was
I,
just
I kind of was dormant, woke
right,
up.
right. What was the
Yeah.
what was that first project that the director asked you to be on?
It was a web series called Company Time, and I was like the office manager for this outside office that he had. And so that's how it started. And then I was like, "What do you got behind the screens?" Because I thought it was pretty cool what he was doing, and I jumped into script supervision on that set as well. So I was doing both in front and behind. So it was cool, just first time I had cameras on me like that, and I was like, "Whoa, this is real life." And I was like, I am definitely fish out of water here. But they said you did well. You were kind of meant, and I didn't know how to take it, but I was grateful. I was really grateful.
so you say you're an aerospace engineer.
Yes, that's what I do for
So
a living.
it was when you said that, it kind of gave me kind of made me think of Ava DuVernay, who was in a whole entirely different career and then kind of got into acting. So
Yes.
into film. So is there anything from the aerospace field that you kind of brought into film?
Yeah. I think for me, organization, structure, when I'm playing roles such as like being an AD, being a script supervisor, it's very detailed. So, and being in aerospace is very detailed. I have to make sure the plane stays up. I have to do mathematics and analysis to make sure the parts work the way they're supposed to work. And so, that efficiency, that detail-oriented perspective, I think helped me translate into being a very keen or in tune production person on sets, because now I can really pulse teams. I'm always thinking about just what's the quickest way, the most effective way to get the job done, because money's online. Because you imagine building, huge aircrafts, it costs a lot of money. So
Cool.
time
Yes.
is money. So I kind of use that, and I tell people I come in and I just add that principle to just pulsing us fast. for execution. So the execution style, I should say, very
Okay,
transferable skills.
so all those, I just keep. So how often you have to cuss out people on set? Because
You know what? You know what's interesting? I am a kindness forward thinking person on set. Like I
a
tell
kindness
people,
forward
Boy,
thinking.
you
yes. Because I'm new on it, I've learned some things. I've been on sets where there's this hierarchy, you know what I mean? Like the extras go over here and you can't eat before this person. And me, when I'm running a set, everyone's equal because I live by my faith principles. So if you pull me in, everyone gets offered water. Everyone gets treated equally as best as I can. Because I think everyone should feel safe, special, seen, heard, loved, kind of that agape love, like so that's sort of what I bring. Like I don't really try to curse people out. I've had some situations.
Nah.
I pull you to the side. I don't do it publicly. I pull you to the side and say, "How can I help you? Well,
So
what's going on that let me help you or help me
you
understand."
just pulled
So
them to the side, not jerked them. Okay.
no, no, because I was just like, man, guys, I work with defense, aircraft, so my life is about defense, right? But to me, in people world, is about love. So that's what I
yeah, you,
do.
you gotta have a
Yeah,
balance. With
yeah,
me
yeah,
being a director, I just I get to a certain point to where it's just like, if you doing too much, you gotta something's gotta be said to you. Now I can
yeah.
keep saying the same thing to you, and if you ain't, doing right, I sometimes, words might not be the kindest for me to say.
Yeah, I've been on those sets. Don't get me wrong. I've had people say certain things, and I'm like, all right, bite my tongue because that was like the New York. 'Cause I'm originally from New York. I'm from the Bronx, so
Oh, I heard it
there's
there.
a
I heard
side of
it. I
me.
heard a
You
little
heard it,
bit of
right?
it.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a side of me where I'm like, it wants to come out, but then there's another side of me that I have things to lose. Like I have a certain type of corporate job with
Right.
customer is,
Right.
so it's like I have a means of things, and I go, you know what? I'm not gonna let it bother me as much as it is, but let me roll with it so my work ethic is strong and I keep
Right.
it pushing.
I totally
Hmm.
understand. Yeah, I'm originally from Memphis, so the A mains will come out. Amen. When I say that, it's time to
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
different me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It reads on me. Don't get me wrong. It translates. Like my energy will shift. I will not smile. I'm a smiley person. I will stop smiling, and then she's pissed. But she still will work. She's still gonna get the job done. Keep professional first. So.
Right. Most
Mhm.
definitely.
You can say, look, you can get the Atlanta version of me or the Bronx version of me.
Hey,
Ooh,
depending
the
on what
Bronx
side
is
of
fun
Atlanta,
though. I like her. I like her though.
hey,
The
but
Bronx version is.
depending on what side of Atlanta, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Let's say the Georgia version. Let's
Oh,
just
there you go. There you
let's
go.
Georgia Spurs is
ex-
kind of sweet, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. The same Georgia that Ray Charles was singing about. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay,
Hmm.
yeah.
okay. That was a good one. That was good.
Georgia on my mind.
That was great. That was absolutely great. So with your aerospace, Ashley, how did you get into that career?
So I actually studied civil engineering structures for my undergrad and graduate degree. I thought I was going to build bridges and buildings. That's kind of what I went to school for. I thought I would stay in New York. And then I applied to some requisition online that said, hey, we hire structural engineers. And I noticed it was aircrafts. And someone said, it's just a building that flies. You got it. And they were paying great money.
That is that's a good statement right there.
Yeah, different material, so different systems, you learn and you learn it, the material difference, but it's still a building that flies structurally. You have to make sure it sounds. So got in it and moved around, living in just different states. I've jumped jobs, so often keep up with the market, I like to say. So, I've lived in St. Louis to South Carolina to Florida and then to Atlanta. So kind of made my rounds
Pretty much
after I
all
left
over
New
the
York.
South.
Try to try to get a little stint in, follow the money, you can say a little bit there, right? I was following
Oh, yeah.
following that.
So Georgia gave you the most money, huh? That's what I'm
No,
getting.
not that it gave me the most money. It did hindsight, right? Because I'm at a different peak of my career, but it definitely was. I always wanted to leave, right? I think when I was in Florida, I said, hey, I'm gonna quit my corporate job and I'm gonna move to Atlanta. I'm gonna be a singer I'm going to be a dancer. That's what I'm going to do. And then COVID happened and I left to Atlanta, but COVID happened and I was just like, okay, I'm still
Right.
working. But yeah, I always kind of knew I'm a New Yorker, right? So New Yorkers kind of think like, all right, if we leave in New York, we going to probably Atlanta or LA.
Right.
LA is expensive.
Very
So we
much
went
so.
to Atlanta. So there you go, right? So that's kind of where it came. And I was like, let me build roots here, kind of stay here for a while.
That's what's up.
So
Yeah.
you also sing, dancer,
Yeah.
fix planes,
Yeah.
make So what can't you do? I think I stumped her with that one.
I'm like,
I like the
There's
oh,
confidence.
you
nothing.
I
know,
like the
it's not
confidence on
that,
this one. You're
it's not
definitely
that
a
I
New
can't.
Yorker. You're
There's
definitely a
nothing
New
she
Yorker.
can't do. Nothing she can't do.
I'm optimistic, right? And I think we can all learn. And I tell people I learn fast. I think that's what the specialty is and why I can jump into different things sometimes. Because I learn. You know, there's other things I love. I'm an avid gardener, right? I do like huge
Good
gardens
Oh
in my
Lord.
my
backyard.
goodness.
Yeah, so I have a lot of I have a lot of like fruits that I'm trying out this year, a lot of vegetables.
So you grow so that means the grocery store, you barely in that,
But
huh?
I don't want to because it was free. You know, it was meant to be free for us. I don't want to pay for it anymore.
I
So
understand.
you know,
I
but yeah,
understand.
I try new things. And so, I'm not perfection in those crafts, I would say, but I have a frequency in them. I live in a specific frequency within each, and it feeds my soul. And so I continue to, nourish myself on different things.
That is a very great way of saying you have no idea what the word can't means.
You know, I don't want to have the word can. No, I want to say yes, I can if I try. And if I try and I failed, at least I tried. In my head, I'm gonna say I can know in the beginning at least.
So
Yeah.
so I gotta ask you, your first production gig, like what was your
Yeah.
first project where you were like the producer on it?
Like a EP or just a producer?
Either one, both of them.
So the first project I EP'd, that was kind of like an unexpected EP project, I would say, because actually their first AD. And how that kind of started is sort of like as we were going through production and at the end, you have to pay the talent, things like that.
Right.
And I lean in kindness. I really am. And I know it's hard to believe in the world that there are people that just give without like wanting anything, but I kind of feel like a person like that. But I kind of offered to pay the talent. Like I didn't really know these people as much. I came in as an AD, and then when I offered to pay talent, because I feel like people should be paid for their gifts. I got an EP credit, and it kind of worked that way. And then after that, I started helping with festival payments, and then I jumped on a friend's project that was there as well as a consultant and EP'd his. And so that process is great because you know, I don't want creative control over anything. I just go, here's a contract. If we get a return, that's great. If we don't, at least you got your passion out. Something you felt the world needed to see. And I have the means to help you. So here you go. And so it was kind of, you know, just walking through understanding the director, what the project meant to them, that fed my soul. Like
Yeah.
watching that person bloom, I'm like, look at you. Like it takes one act of kindness. Like we don't gotta all be millionaires, and some people don't have. Like I think we all need to be able to share across to come up together.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's sort of how, to me, I come in that way when I'm EPing or even producing. I'm like, I make sure the person knows we got this. Like I only get called in when it's time to really take it to a notch. So,
In case of
that's sort of
emergency,
yeah.
break open glass.
Yeah. 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 It's
Yeah, yeah,
kind of
you're a producer.
yeah, my friend comes in and they're like, "Hey, I need this and we need food and we need this." And I go, "Yeah, I'm coming on just to help." But then I go, "Hey, I got you on the food. I got you on craft. I got you on this." Like I check my budget and I'm like, "All right, let's do it." Because I feel like we're in that age where the arts is going to help us get back to hopefully a better space in life. Like we're at Black Renaissance, like where the art and the passion is supposed to bring us back to humanity.
Okay.
Technology clearly has taken over the world.
Much
And
so.
so
Oh,
now
yeah.
we need the arts to come back because the arts is the heart, it's the soul. So that's sort of the advocacy I have for my agenda is like using money from my technical side and feeding it into the arts for the indie films exactly, precisely for indie specific because I know it struggles to get financing. So
It is
Oh
definitely
yeah.
a struggle. Yeah.
yeah,
It's if you're not Marvel or
I know, I know.
Spider-Man or you got one of those in your back pocket, you may do all right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you
So
were as you were talking, I was thinking, somebody told me this as far as film, because they said, well, the actor, their job's to act. The director, their job is to direct. The producer does everything else.
yeah.
So would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think a producer would do everything else. I definitely, the first time I actually like really was producing, I played multiple hats that for vertical series I worked on, and I was just like overwhelmed. I had to take moments and just like everyone sees TQ outside the door by herself, it means she has to center herself again because either she's gonna explode on somebody or she's gonna cry. So I take my little
Bronx
moments.
incoming.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my moments to de-escalate, but it's a very chaotic experience sometimes. I'm trying to streamline it, like add some more structure to the indie world. 'Cause I was like, guys, we don't have to feel so alarmed all the time or so heightened, so anxiety driven on the days of shoot if we can plan a specific way. And so I try to bring that in. Like I'm trying to be like, hey, whatever I've learned in my other side of my life, we'll
So
pulse you through. We'll do our best.
so how, because time management is I was thinking your life very important. How are you managing your day job and producing?
Very carefully, right?
So I have PTO, I take time off here and there. My
Call
boss,
in.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, my boss, I'm very transparent. My boss and my employees, because I am in management now, so I run a team. But my boss and my employees know what I do outside. I don't
Okay.
hide it. I let my boss know that's my passion. I let people know that that is something I'm into. And I've worked hard enough in my corporate job to get a little bit of flexibility and being able to just take off. I need 2 days this week to go do something. So I try to balance, how that works. And I am married, so my husband's very helpful in making sure other things are juggled. And so he juggles a lot of the house items for me. I don't really have to do much house stuff. I'm kind of spoiled just a little bit.
Oh, that's a
And
good thing.
yeah, my husband
Yeah.
cooks,
Oh
he
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Go
cleans,
show, yeah, yeah. Show
he
some love
does,
to the
yeah.
husband.
My husband does it all, and then he's always on a set with me. He company me's on sets all the time. He helps out, so he's a very supportive. I think that's a big part of it is having that partnership of someone that can help you kind of juggle just life while you're trying to switch careers or add another career in. So
Now,
It's definitely hard. I
was
tell
that
you that much.
flexibility a part of also maybe why you wanted to go to Atlanta?
flexibility in terms of
Corporate job, passion.
no, I really, honestly, I don't see myself staying in corporate forever. So there's going to be an exit at some point. I just knew Atlanta would be sort of this opening. It felt like the right place to build. And I like, to be honest, when I used to visit Atlanta a lot, it was like you can see the Black Mecca in a way, is how I used to see it. It's like, you have people of all backgrounds a little bit there with and being an African American person, you see a little status there that they would carry and vision, and so I kind of always knew. I don't know if the flexibility was a sense. I've always kind of had the flexibility where I lived in other places as well.
Okay.
Right.
I've worked all aerospace companies all throughout, those different states. It's just different ones, but they kind of follow the same like work styles.
It's gonna fly somewhere.
Yeah, like it's all the same, and to me, at the end of the day. So but yeah, Atlanta was just like hot Atlanta, like
So
here we go.
when did you officially move to Atlanta?
2019,
Right
right before
before
COVID.
COVID.
Right
Okay.
Like
before COVID.
right
Man.
there. Like when I mean first job and then it was like wear a mask. And I was like, what? So right before COVID.
COVID
Trapped in
kinda
the house
messed
for like two
everybody up.
years.
So what
Yeah.
was your plans like when you moved to Atlanta? Like, did you have, like, all these plans that you were getting ready to
Yeah.
do, and then COVID
Yeah.
hit, and then it just wiped out everything for you?
Yeah. I thought I was like, I'm gonna find someone who makes beats, and I'm gonna get somebody to take me into a studio, and I'm gonna find some dance studios, and I'm gonna figure this out. COVID hit, and
They
I
And
was
said,
just
stay
and
your
like,
ass at the house.
yeah, Kobe
nope,
said you ain't about to do a damn thing. Do you
we
hear
were
me?
done. Yeah, I was done. I was like, man, in the house locked up. So, but I call it. Exactly, exactly. I was like hibernating. I was like, okay, what are we doing here? So it was cool though. It was cool. I did
So,
buy a house during that time, so I was productive with my life a little
Hey,
bit and still taking steps. I got married and bought a house. We finally got married and got a house. So life was still happening for us. I just wasn't the artsy side of me at the
I
time.
said,
So
you sound like you had a very productive 2020 compared to the rest
yeah,
of us.
I did. I closed and yeah. So I would say it was still eventful. It's still successful. I can't knock that part.
well, no,
So
we started the podcast in 2020.
Because we couldn't
see,
film
like,
nothing.
2020 was a year. I'm
See, there
telling
you
you.
go. Well, we couldn't film anything, so
we
we
didn't get married or anything like that. But, we wasn't that productive.
I was a little antsy, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna have to do something." Like you, we had a lot of stuff planned, and we had a
Yeah.
lot of productions planned, and then COVID came along and set everybody down. And I was like, "Man, we're gonna have to do something," because I'm antsy and I'm irritated. And I asked these guys, I said, "What about a podcast?" And they were like, "Sure, why not?"
And what's
Yeah.
funny is my buddy, I was helping him get some equipment together. VA. It's like, hey, you got all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, and she's like, why don't we use it? And I'm like, huh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Mm,
you know what I'm talking about?
look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, hey, and here we are doing
Yeah.
where it's like we might be 120 in, I think. Maybe. Can't
Wow.
remember. I stopped counting.
Congratulations.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
This
it.
is awesome. Podcasts, I've always loved podcasts and, is always that has been on my mental before.
You
I always,
should. There's no reason
yeah,
why
I was
you
like,
can't.
is it, I just
She
never know if
she don't
anybody want to tune in to me. Or I
Listen,
ain't gonna lie to you. I'd be like, do y'all want to tune in? Because I'm a little different sometimes.
that
So,
that's what make podcasts work, the difference. Like you have to
yeah.
have something that's gonna grab the attention to the audience. So
Yeah.
just start.
Yeah.
Why not?
Have you noticed I guess Netflix now, they pick up podcasts, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, they
Is
have
that
a
what
whole
they,
category.
yeah, I love that too. I'm like, that's pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Hey, where the attention goes, right? The money flows. Like one of them deals. No.
I guess.
Oh, okay.
they're gonna grab you one way or another.
That was your joke of the day?
That wasn't a joke.
That was his
Man,
He's spitting
observation.
facts. He was like, is this a
man,
fact right
damn, for
there?
real, man. Like, damn. You know when I'm swinging.
Because I won't be laughing.
See, this how they do me. This how they do
Yeah,
me.
I could say I'm feeling that. I see you. I see the energy. I can see it.
That sounded like an unfortunate situation. So we're gonna move on. So for like your I would say like maybe your first 2 times on the set, what would you when you think of like your first like wake up call? Like, oh my God, I'm really on the set moment. Do you remember what that would be?
Hmm. I'm really on a set moment. My wake up call.
I know it goes
I
it
think
goes
I
by.
think for me, I know what it is. I think it was for me where the first set. I think it was from the first set when getting casted as a supporting actress, but then asking to do behind the scenes and doing the script supervision. Because I remember like being in the room while they're filming, and I'm like just tracking the script, making sure no one forgets their line, and then I'm realizing I am in the next scene. Now I have to jump into wardrobe. I got my makeup done for the first time because I don't really do much makeup. I like right now I have lipstick on. You know, I don't put on too much. So having someone actually touch my face, I wasn't even sure I wasn't sure how to feel about how I looked. I was like, oh my gosh. And then
Yeah.
throw on my clothes and then just jump behind the screen. I mean in front of the screen. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on a set. And like and then after that, after I was done, I jumped back in the bathroom, changed back, put on my headphones, like my headset, and I was like back with my notebook, like scripting, like
So
back in action.
how difficult was that? Like
That sounds like a
that
I
lot
was
going
hot.
that
on there.
I was
sounds
hot.
like a lot.
I was sweaty. I was hot. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody needs to pat me down. There's cameras on me. And I was like, I hope I don't look a fool. I was like, what am I doing? So it was a little difficult. I was so nervous. I was like, what if I forget my own lines? That's sad. I'm a script supervisor. I have to remember these lines. But I got natural with it and I got comfortable. I was able to do my takes and it was great. But those days, like when I had to be in the scene, that was probably the toughest. Just making sure I had to jump into this
Right,
acting mode out of
right.
the supervisor, you know. So that to me made me know, like, okay, I'm really here. Like, I'm here.
So would you ever do that again?
I haven't acted since, to be honest.
Damn.
You know, don't get me wrong.
It's
I
a,
think down the line, maybe I might try it again. But
like
to me,
way
it'll be
down low.
that, yeah, when I'm focused solely on just doing that, not playing the multiple roles behind and in front of the screen. But right now, I'm enjoying being behind the screen.
I'm just imagining
Yeah.
she asked for line and they're like, what? I'm sorry.
Or
What?
you're the
No, no, say
scripty.
that again. Really? No, no, no. How did you say that louder? You don't know your line? Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'd
And
be
she
like,
was
man,
like,
this is horrible.
you know what? Never again. Never
Yeah.
again. We're not doing this
Yeah,
anymore.
I think looking at myself when we had it premiere and like seeing myself there, I was like, oh my gosh, people are watching and I'm right there. And I was like, you know, because I have a lot of nerves, you know, I was a very, like I said, I grew up very textbook, like in my
Yeah,
books in school. I just didn't think of this being a life for me. And so being in it for like 2 years now is like an extreme, like, wow, I
right.
just never expected it at all.
Sometimes that's how it works though. I didn't I wanted to be a cinematographer and not a director, but I just kinda got pushed into that role. So sometimes you get pushed into something and it works out for you. So
Hmm.
yeah.
I was
Would you go
looking this.
back? Would you jump back into cinematography?
Well, yes, I kinda do a lot. I have multiple hats like you do on set, so I feel comfortable with a camera in my hand, but my DP, Clarence, who is excellent, he doesn't want me to have a camera in my hand. So I have to
Mm.
trust the fact of getting rid of those nerves of having a camera in my hand and just directing. So would I go back? I probably would. Directing is a whole different beast.
What she won't be doing is acting though. That getting in front of the camera is just like pulling teeth.
No, but I had to stand in because, we had
And
actors not show up.
you didn't stood in since. You may be back on camera before she will.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. It's a lot for me to get in front of the camera. I start stuttering and sweating. So
Mm,
there you go.
And
understood.
then she'll
I
start
get it. I
directing.
get it.
Hey, let me see my shot.
I do it.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's hard for me. I gotta be behind the camera. I can't be in front of the camera.
No, no, we don't use can't here.
Yeah, see? Can I do that here? Is that
Yeah,
the
yeah,
lane? I
yeah.
learned
Yeah,
that in
you can do
Atlanta.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you can do that. We're not. I will not be divulging in the tea.
I've
Yeah,
learned
no
that. So
doubt.
now when I learn it, I'm like, God, something new. Look, I'm keeping up.
Oh man,
I see it. I'm just like, are y'all squashing bugs? What is that? This is why I don't talk to nobody under 30.
they clocking Kevin.
Clocking T,
Hmm.
Kevin. That's what they
Clock
doing.
and T.
Clocking.
They
That's what they
telling
say.
tea, they clocking
Clocking
tea.
T. That's
They're
what they
doing
doing.
everything but drinking it because they drinking liquor.
I drink tea every day, twice a day,
So
guys. I have
you
to have the
drink tea
coffee,
while
you know.
clocking the tea.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, tea is better than coffee for
Mm-hmm.
me. So hey,
That's what I was
Tell
told.
this
I was
to
like,
these youngins
man,
who be clocking it.
I'm not I'm not
I'm
telling
the, no,
I'm not telling YNs nothing. Do you hear me?
I saw somebody did. I said, yeah, I'm old because what the hell is that?
Keep them away from me. Okay.
We're
mm.
clocking the tea. Yeah, I shouldn't even been in this conversation. That's my bad. My bad.
So being a producer, what
Produce the tea.
Wow.
I couldn't help myself.
Hey, I'm here for the jokes. I'm the joke guy, not you. All
He
right.
said, I'm the joke,
Well,
please.
well, the opening was there and you didn't take it.
Hey,
So,
Whoop.
yeah, I mean, wasn't that great?
those are all bad jokes, by the way.
Yeah, wasn't that great?
No,
Well,
not at all. Anyways, like I was saying before I was interrupted by T, okay? Being a producer, what is it that makes a great producer?
So I want to say I still classify myself as a baby in this film world and the indie world, right? So I'm pretty sure there's much more that I'm going to learn. But I would say making a great producer, being organized on, you got to be kind of have a structured side to you, I think, to do things in a timely fashion so you're not crunching at the end. I think having a great communication with your director, right, or any executive producers you're working with to make sure that, budget's secured, everyone's casted, everyone's scheduled so they can meet the shoot dates. I'm also thinking about efficiency as a producer. Maybe this is a different element, but to me, when I'm reviewing through a script, because I have been a script supervisor a lot, you know, it's like reviewing through the script as a producer, I'm able to give some notes maybe to the team where it's like, hey, here is where we can, for example, film this in this location. It'll cost this much. But if you're open and flexible to this and changing it like this, we can save money here and still maintain continuity. So I kind of would say I add that element into production for folks, right? Just making sure have a checklist, we're hitting on the checklist, and I hate feeling crunch for time, even though everyone tells me that's normal. They go, "That's normal, TQ. Last minute, we're ordering like lunch for everybody in two seconds before we actually supposed to feed them." Like I don't like that.
Oh my goodness.
Not me.
That's
I
crazy.
have to know that everything is secured and laid out. It's like a beautiful song. Like I need the notes to hit the notes where they are. And I don't really push for last minute if I don't have to. Just
So if
try
you
to have open comms, you know, as much as we can.
right, if you have you ever been on set and, you know, a location and budget and everything like that, and they're starting to go overtime, so how do you, like, tell the cast and the crew, like, "Hey, y'all got this amount of time right here, we're pushing it,
Mm,
y'all gotta hurry up with this shot right here, then we gotta move on to the
yeah.
next." So, how does that go
So
for you?
so it goes differently depending on what hat I'm wearing. As a script supervisor, you know, I still used to post time, to be honest, because I think it's important. But in terms of a first AD, you know, I'll use that term first. You know, I always talk to my directors first and go, hey, what's the communication style you prefer if you're going to go over by accident? So I know that you won't yell at me on set, right? Because sometimes people get into emotions and you be like, hey, we got to go. You're taking too long. And they like, oh, wait, or they have a little attitude. So I always have an initial expectation conversation way in the beginning of any shoot day to say, how do you want me to stop you comfortably? Do we have a safe word? You know, what does that sound like? You know, and we use a safe word like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Even in a producer hat, you could say, I go to them and say, what do you need versus what do you want? You have to know that in advance. I need you to know that before you get there. You make a list of put an asterisk next to the ones you know you need versus the ones you know that's nice if you get it, you know, hey, what if, you know? But definitely it has to be a lot of pre-work for them. And so when it's time for me to tell them to keep rolling, I'm like, hey, you guys got this much time. Do the stuff you need to get. Because I remember one time I was on a set and we had a location and we thought we had it all night. And we found out they cut us 5 hours short and
Oh
said
my
you have to be
goodness.
out by, I think we
That's
got it, and we're
rough.
supposed to be there till the morning time. And they were like, no, you guys have to be out by like 10:30, 11 p.m. And we were like, we thought we had the entire night. So I looked at I looked at myself. I was like, man, what am I doing? I was an AD at the time. And I was like, what am I doing? And so I went to the director who was losing his mind. And I
Of course.
said, what do you need? And I went through the script and I pulled out the script. I said, I read through it too. If you get this, this, and that, you can build continuity here. This is what I think you should do, but it is up to you. But we don't have time. So let's post and let's get it perfect. And then I tell my script supervisor, go work with the talent because I need them to get it right on the first take. So run practice while we're setting up, right? Keep them in the scene, in character. And so just, you know, trying to find ways to be more efficient in those instances. But that was definitely a crunch time experience. But we got it out. We got it done. That was my first EP project, I think, at the
Oh
end of
man.
the
So
day. I actually EP'd that one too. That was the first one. So
so what I'm getting is you won't have a situation where Christian Bale's gonna be yelling at you for doing something on set they don't like.
if they want to yell at me, they can yell, but I'm gonna have to sweet talk them with kindness. Emotional intelligence is a thing I tell people, right? I hit with technical intelligence and I come in with the emotional, like kind of like a life coach. How you feeling today? You feeling good? You need anything? You looking really good. Like what you just did was remarkable. I love it. The world just felt that one. Let's do this. Keep going. Let's go. Now
Yeah,
walk off
well,
because I want
well,
a pep talk.
well, you know,
You know?
I think because of the communication style and what you've actually like shared with us today, I think that wouldn't happen anyway. You wouldn't be adjusting lights, you know, at the same time this guy's
Yeah.
trying to like, you know, do his performance.
People are
Yeah.
No,
nice, you know.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
People
didn't know
get
what
nice
you were
to
talking
me.
about.
Like you don't remember that? Like Christian Bale like went off on I'm not gonna say the director's name or not the The
Crew
director
member.
of photography, I think, right?
No, I just think it was a crew member,
No,
but they were.
no. It
It
wasn't just a
wasn't.
crew member. I know exactly who it was. And
Yes, don't
I was
say
like, oh,
names.
and he's a nice guy too. He's a nice guy. And it's like, man, yeah. So
That
I'll
Yeah.
tell you
No, don't
after
get me
this.
wrong though. Everyone has a day, right? Like not no one's gonna be perfect. And I think that's a special sauce of life. It's like everyone has their off day, and sometimes they yelling at you not because they're mad at you. They got some redirected energy that they're
Hmm.
taking out
Yep.
on you.
Hmm.
And so
Right.
I go, when I do my safety meetings before a set starts, I go, I want psychological safety, physical safety, emotional safety, and mental safety. Like I need that all to feel good. And so I literally listen to the feelings of people, right? I sit around and if my director is showing anxiety, I go and talk to that person. If other people are just kind of sitting around, I'm like, hey, that's a cue for me to go talk. So the observation is a must in the industry, right? When you're sitting there, you're like, hey, let me make sure things are just going the way they're supposed to go. But yeah, if people yell, I try to tell myself, treat them like Christ as best as I can. It's the truth. It's the truth. I
as
go,
best
I
as
gotta
you
treat
can.
them like as best as I can and then repent later for the but I try my best to go like, if I got nothing to say, don't say anything at all. You can't take back words sometimes.
Exactly.
So I go silent a little bit, but I try to get it back together. But yeah, I'm just like now people got attitudes. I'm like, that's not for me. There's something inner in you. Some inner child, something. We know that's how the world is these days, right?
Right.
There's
Yeah.
something more. Like I can't even you
Right.
good.
No, I feel you
Yeah.
on that. I feel you on that. For me being a director, I always say, we go on set, we're gonna make magic. So I try my best to make sure my set is the most calmest place ever. For me as a director, so I can make sure I focus, but also for the cast and the crew to make them feel safe, to make sure that they're being able to project their craft the best way they can. That's just part of being a director, period, point blank. You have to
Yeah.
make sure that your set is always good in order for your actors and your crew to do their best. Because if you have everything's chaotic, everything else is gonna fall apart. So,
Yeah. No, you're 100%. And I always when I see talent, I've been on sets where talent looks and when it's chaotic, they're upset, they're frustrated, and I don't think they give it their best all the time. But
right,
when you have talent on set and they're laughing and they're having fun in between takes and when once they get on, they light up and you're like, there you go. That's what I was trying to tap in. That's where kindness is
right,
so important because you get the best out of the person. And I go unselfishly, I am a servant leader type style, right? So I'm like, hey, how can I serve you to find the thing that makes you tick to open up that little part of you that you can bring out in front of the camera? All the nerves, I don't want the nerves. I want you to feel like you just in your house chilling and you ready to just do your best and like you're on.
right,
So that's what I try to tap into. Become friends a little bit with people, you create family. I like to create family on set.
Okay, so being is that right? Do you perform a more looser kind of film set? But how much hierarchy is it? Like, hey, nobody talk to the director. Make sure you go through these particular channels, or
Mm,
everybody can talk to whoever.
that's the director, to be honest, right? Like I do ask sometimes the director's also an EP or something like that too, So it depends on what hat I'm wearing. But I do ask them because sometimes I realize on set, some sets that they have worked with each other for a long time. I don't run with one crew, right? I jump different crews. So I'll be on a set with someone who this is their family already. They've worked many projects together. So they already have a rhythm established. It's me just coming in, learning the rhythm and upholding the rhythm. Uh, I've been on other crews where everyone's piecemeal and new, and you got to find a way to build and bridge on the spot between everybody and make sure it's connected. And to me, I always tell people I purposely make myself the go to person, of course, because I don't want my director distracted. I want my director focused. So I always will tell people, come through me, right? If I'm an AD, come through me or come through my line producer or if things like that that I'm working with. And let's take it there. But I also talk to that director, say, how do you want me to communicate things that pop up? Just so I know in advance, right? That we already talked about it. So I do I have like a quick convo with the director all the time in the beginning, just to learn you because this has nothing to do with me. This is your vision, your set, your dreams. and I've been brought in to help you execute them. So I have to think like you. And so I have to kind of study you, right? That's the engineering side of me. Like I'm studying you and I'm like, all right, this is how you like to be talked to. This is how you respond. You do want some input from certain people, but you want it to flow this way. Got it. Copy. Noted. And then I just uphold that. So I treat everyone with individuality on a set. So I can't say I manage a set the same way every time. I learn the people I work with. I learn the rhythm that they have so I can like translate the best execution style for them. So I'm flexible, adaptable. The only thing I do definitely do is I do bring my faith. I pray it out. I pray hard on the set. I convict. I will bring God in the room all the time. He brought me into this industry, I always say. So that's one thing I hold true some is the kindness.
Most
Other than
definitely.
that, I'm flexible.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, did you wanna?
You
Oh,
you go
okay.
ahead,
I thought you was
Kevin.
getting ready. I didn't wanna.
No, I was just agreeing with her.
You're
You
like,
Oh,
you go
Kevin, go
ahead.
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
thought she was get. I thought she was getting ready to say something. Like I was
Maybe
kind of
later.
thinking that a lot. You've mentioned a lot of for sets. It seems like you do a lot on the prep on the beginning, on the pre stages. For somebody who would be just starting off, like how would you tell them how important it is for the prep side of filmmaking?
I would say the prep side is probably the most important. Well, to me, I think it's one of the most important on the prep side because, I realize if you don't prepare, right? If you don't prepare, the day of the shoot's going to be chaotic. Your script, you might miss things, right? You might miss you might miss a couple things, and then when it's time to post, there's a lot of cleanup on the post side.
Yeah.
So if you gotta try to prep, meaning all of it, like have table reads, have your talent know their lines, have everything in place because that prep will lead into the experience of the production and what your outcome would be of your footage. And either you're gonna have a really chaotic post or you're gonna have kind of a smooth kind of post production experience. And that's where I'm like, guys, I want post production to be smooth. So if I have people who get to improv lines, like a director goes, yeah, you guys can improv a little lines here, there. I always instate, you guys can improv. However, please hold true to specific lines because in post production, I want to have cut points. And that's me just being a scripty, that's me just trying to hold and help the editor
Right.
at the end, because I have to take these notes to know what's going on. But to me, I think preparing is going to be key just because what you get and you don't know what will happen on the day of the shoot. Like
You do
so many
not
random
know.
things can happen. So I'm like, all right, guys, I just want
You
a
may only
clean,
have the house
efficient
for a few
post.
hours.
I know. And that's it. So it's like preparing is a must because the more you know how to prepare, the more you know the knowledgeable of what you got to do. I think it's easier for you to have to pivot. You know how to pivot in case there's an issue. You know all the things you have to do. So if you are on a set and things go wrong, you know the landscape enough to know how to pivot and still connect everything to flow. That's why I think preparation is key
Right.
in the prep
Post-production is
part.
a beast, boy. I tell you that much.
Yeah.
You are an editor's
I've
best
sat in
friend.
on one editing session and it was pretty cool. The last thing I had worked on, I sat down in the editing with them for like some hours and I was like, man, it was just a short film. And I'm like, we take forever just for 15 minutes.
I know.
We cutting
And
through
and people don't
everything. And
get
I'm
it.
like, whoa, my
People don't
gosh.
understand it. So if you take a full movie, like an
Mm,
hour-long film, those takes months to do. But all that,
I know.
all that taping and stuff, even for a short film, all that taping that you do and all those takes that you do, it's a lot. In post-production,
Yeah.
we have had, our run-ins with post-production because pre-production wasn't the best. During the middle of the shoot, it wasn't the best, and going into post-production and trying to make something out of some mess is just not
Hmm.
it's horrible. It's horrible. We've
Yeah.
had to reshoot a film
Yeah.
one
I've heard
time, so
stories. Ooh.
yeah, we
I'm gonna need to hear that story in the future about
we
what
lit
that was like.
Cliff Notes version, we literally shot a whole film. It was a short film, but at the same time, it was a lengthy short film, and actors wouldn't listen, and that was like my first time. That was like my second short, but we had a lot of, like, stand-ins and it was a party scene. So,
Mm,
people weren't listening, and we filmed it, went into editing, and none of it worked. None of it worked. So we had to reshoot the short film.
Mm,
But at least the main actors came back to redo it. But we
okay.
had to get all new extras and everything. So
Ooh, that
yeah,
sounds like a lot. But you made it through. I'm optimistic, so it's a
hey,
good thing, right? Like there's always a lesson somewhere
it
in
was a
there, you know.
headache,
So
boy.
Sometimes you gotta learn the lesson multiple times.
Not for me. Not for me.
You want to learn that one over and
it
over
might
again.
be something you missed during the lesson, you know, like,
Yeah,
hey, here's something else.
no doubt.
I mean, I learned. I mean, my best quote is failure is my best friend. I don't go into anything failing. But at the same time, if I fail at something, I learn from it. So
Mhm.
hey, there you
I
go.
like that.
Now, I kind of want to talk about like I guess like the film environment in Georgia. I said you're originally from New York, and Atlanta's kind of looked at as like Black Hollywood, but you'll hear how New York is supposed to be very competitive. LA, very competitive. Would you say Georgia's somewhat the same way?
Feel like it is getting to more competitive state, in my opinion, because it is the new kind of hot spot. You know, like everyone, yes, LA is known for what LA is known for. New York is what New York is known for. But I think, I would say in Atlanta because the way that the world is moving, especially with AI. I hate bringing up AI, but start
We'll
bringing in
we'll
AI and
get to that eventually.
everything starts getting super everyone got to put things out really fast, and I think there's this more competitive energy that's slipping in. Nothing wrong with it, but I would say just from things I've supported, I can see I can see a shift of, you want to make sure, everybody's fighting to get on Tubi, like there is just more happening lately.
I can see that.
But, I'm different. I'm different. So maybe I perceive things maybe a little differently because than someone who's probably been in this industry way longer, right? So
Tubi sounds like fights and Tubi would go together.
Who?
Tubi
Tubi and who?
and fights.
Fights.
She said fighting to get on Tubi. The Tubi fights. It'd be like World
Tubi
Star,
fights.
I
right?
thought you said something else. I thought you said another
You're
word. I didn't know
confusing
what you
Tubi
said.
with Zeus.
Zeus?
Zeus Network, yeah.
Wrong
Gotcha.
Wrong network.
Wrong network.
Okay.
Wrong network.
My bad.
You know, I think Tubi got a little bit more class than
Hey,
Zeus.
it probably
No, I
does.
would say so.
It probably
Yeah.
does.
Speaking of
But, yeah.
fights, no, I'm kidding.
Man.
Where was that go? What was that
I was
going?
like, me?
If I had somewhere, I would have taken it there.
Yeah,
So
I've
you
never
just
had a fight in my life, so you can't ask me anything about fights.
see, there you go, Kevin.
I wouldn't even.
When I say I'm a nerd, I'm a nerd. I don't know if people realize, but yeah.
Kevin over here about trying to
She's a-
bring the Memphis mentality to stuff. Don't do
No.
that.
Absolutely not.
What you
That's why I
mean?
moved. So
No. Then you
I'm-
can't sit up there and
Memphis once. Is Bill Street out there, right? Bill Street?
Yes, yes, yes.
Is that in
yeah.
Yeah, I've been there once. I loved it. I heard some
Say
great
what?
singers
You
one
loved
time.
it.
I did. Well, I was traveling around. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Reaction?
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I loved it.
Most people scared to go to Memphis, so she said she loved it. I'm just
Nah, I was in Memphis and I was like in Bill Street, and that was a while back, but I had fun. I ate some good food. Like it was good.
hey, we appreciate
Yeah.
that. We Memphians appreciate that. We need some more good light on Memphis, except for the bad ones.
You were
Yeah.
flabbergasted. when
I
she said-
was like, what?
Crap out your eyeballs.
How dare you have a good time in my city? It's like that's crazy. That's
That was
wild.
good. That was good.
Man.
Carson, that was a good one. I like that one.
I beg your
That
pardon.
was a good time in my city.
You see how they do me? It is just wild, man. I mean,
No, but
both
that's how
of
It
that's
seems
how
like
it
it's all out
sounded.
of love. That's how they love you. That's it.
That's how it sounded though. It's like oh my God, you had a great time in the
She
city.
she didn't hide it
Yeah,
at
I know,
all.
right?
I'm
like,
just
what?
saying.
What?
I am just saying. The most of the time, people are like, "No, I'm not going there," and I'm just like, it's surprising to see somebody have a good time in Memphis.
Yeah.
Surprised
I had
and
fun in Memphis.
utterly shocked. Like, what?
But most people from out of town have good experiences. Like now, if you're just looking at first 48, then hey,
Oh, God.
hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, they got IKEA out there.
No, they shut that down.
What?
Man, all right, well I ain't gotta go.
So
Hey.
any live productions you've done?
IKEA. I like IKEA. I'm telling you.
Hey, you ain't gonna be able to go to
Atlanta
it in
got an
Memphis.
IKEA.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
may want to
Atlanta
go
got
there
one
and get it.
though. So
Sounds like
Yeah.
you're going over there to get IKEA.
Hey, Memphis only had one IKEA.
I
dang,
forgot we
man.
had one. I've been I haven't been there for long. I've been there for short stints for a long time. I totally forgot we had one.
I'm in and out the
Oh,
city. That's it.
so am I, but at least you knew there was an IKEA.
People don't know I'm there until I'm gone. That's how it worked for me.
There's people that still don't know I moved. So thank you for the IKEA information. I forgot what I was going to ask.
Well, it's not there no more, so you ain't gotta worry about
Man,
it.
that was like one of the differentiating factors, like to move from Nashville to Memphis too.
For an IKEA store?
Yeah, like
IKEA?
people was like really on that IKEA, like, because there's like a little rivalry between the two cities, and
Yeah, I can imagine.
and it's been spurred on by a number of different things, like attitudes.
There's a rivalry between Memphis and Nashville?
Yeah.
There's definitely.
Like,
Oh,
and
Yeah.
like us getting the professional sports team that we got didn't help none, because like Memphis tried to steal them away, and there was a time where
You talking about the Titans?
Yeah.
Memphis was not gonna get no Titans.
I know that
They were in Memphis.
we know that they but Memphis was like, oh well, y'all playing here, so y'all might as well just stay.
Yeah, that's a whole nother situation.
Yeah.
There's a
My bad.
but I was
What was your question? Hold on, ask your question. Go ahead.
so with and you may have kind of noticed like the film industry is starting to kind of navigate from Los Angeles to Atlanta, New Orleans, and other places. I think even New Mexico. For someone who does indie film, do you see that as a benefit?
For everything migrating to Atlanta and all these for the indie market, I would say yeah. Maybe, but like I said, I'm a positive soul, so I think I see everything as a positive. But I would say yeah. I think for me, the way Hollywood is right now, depending on what you believe in, the way Hollywood is running
I
right
believe it's
now,
expensive.
you
I believe
know,
that.
I think that we are in a situation where indie films could really come up. Like before, there was more, I think, guardrails. And I feel like we are in a season where indie films can thrive and get on networks and do their things, but we just have to remember the business side of indie. That's something I've seen that I think we need to capitalize more on,
Right.
is that, if we can take the indie world, but then add a more business acumen to it, then we can probably navigate how to get into certain spaces better and not have to be the top of the top like the Hollywood folks right now, right? I
Right.
think things are changing, right? Like I think we can get indoors more. So I'm for that. That's to me a big thing. Like I tell people, I want to get on Netflix with an indie because I want to bring quality, whatever like what we paying for, what we doing. I want that. I feel like we can. I don't feel like we should sell ourselves short.
We should not.
You know.
You know, it's coming. It's
Yeah, I
it's
was like,
slowly
that's what
getting
I
there.
want. I was like, yeah, I think other networks are seeing it too, right? All the networks, I think they're going down to that level. I don't think I think we're in a new wave of life, right? All the big timers are kind of shriveling on certain things because they realized they were doing really bad soul things that they should have never been doing. That's another conversation. But now it's like the new wave of creatives can come in, right? While the top prideful ones are falling, right? So it's coming in now and saying, let's do this and do this with passion and goodness so that we can climb a little bit there. So
Most
I definitely
definitely.
can see a plus with the indie world. I'm seeing things, I'm like, ooh, I don't think certain things are off the radar anymore. I think we can tap into certain spaces now, and I'm excited for it.
But yeah, I believe that.
You brought up the business side of indie, which I was like, it's like a lot of people don't even necessarily know the business side of Hollywood. So,
Yeah.
for like as a producer, how much would you say negotiating are you having to do as a producer?
I would say I haven't done much negotiation as a producer because if I have to produce, I end up being the EP and I actually start funding. So if it's a financial consideration, I don't know if I actually, like,
So, are people more so trying to negotiate with you?
yeah, sometimes. No, it's true. Sometimes I'm like, okay, let's talk. And then they'll be like, I don't have this budget. And then I go, well, maybe I could do this. And then they get surprised because most people don't really I don't broadcast the EP side of me as much because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be as transparent on this. I am told by some close friends that I've gained in this industry to be mindful. They said, you're really nice, TQ. You offer,
Everybody be
don't let
trying to.
people take advantage of you, type stuff, right? And so I use discernment. I'm trying not to talk about, but when I talk to someone and I can see the passion in them, and they just need a couple of extra certain things to take care of things, then we become a different negotiation conversation, right? It's no longer, hey, can you just help me produce or help me be an AD for me? It's now like, let's talk EP language, and let's try to make sure we put out quality. And now let's start discussing things differently.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
tone of
more
voice change.
negotiation. But yeah, I
Paperwork
tell
come
them
out.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
that I was like, I don't really pull paperwork until it's EP. And then I'm like, okay, it's paperwork. Let's talk about percent, ROIs for this. Let's discuss this a bit more. But again, I know this is always at risk, right? These are at risk investments. So
Right.
I understand. I get it.
So once you get into that mode, do you kind of see people almost like get a little overwhelmed by it, or maybe not even necessarily know what they even gotten themselves into?
First, think they're excited because they're surprised because I don't think they first expected it from me to offer. So I think it's a good surprise first. But then when it comes down to the business, yes, right? I'm not going to release funds. I might give you a release date on funds. I need to see certain things in tag. I need to see your budget report. I need you to check every dollar and cents was spent this way, right? Because I need to have tracking a certain way. I
Right.
need to know that the money went where you said it was going to go because I am leaning on a layer of trust. Because then guess what? You call me back and say, I need more funds. And then I have to ask you, where was all this money? What happened here? I don't want to have to always do that. So I am more
Hey, sometimes you
bookkeeping.
got to though.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just
Yeah, I'm
gotta put
like,
your
I need a
foot
little
you
down.
got to be
bookkeeping,
big worm
guys.
on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've had those situations where I'm like, hey, unless I get this certain percent, even if it's a 10% return on something, and to me that's not huge if you're putting a certain amount in, I need to know that you agree to certain things on this document before I even release a fund, right? Like so I do tell people my business side will come out a little more stern. Remember that I still care about you and I'm still trying to help you out,
Right.
but I want us to learn how to do the paperwork too. I think that's important even in the indie level that we learn that, yeah, we're friends, but like if you're giving thousands and thousands of dollars to people,
Yeah.
I really still think we should talk about
Money change something.
the paper.
Money changes it every single time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And
So,
No, I think it's great that you do that because, for one, you're also being a lesson on how to deal with other producers who are not friends with them, who are going to be a lot more stern and a lot
mhm,
more cold about it. Or to be honest, they may not even have a conversation. They're going to, hey, talk to my
exactly.
assistant. Or look, this is the paperwork. They're not, you either with it or not.
right.
Nope, get up out my
And that's
face.
what I've learned. Yeah. I've learned like being in corporate and having to, engage or have briefings with like vice presidents and directors and people that make pretty good money in that industry of engineering. And they have assistants, and sometimes you only get 2 minutes of their time or 5 minutes at best because they're busy. So even, I tell people we have to kind of be on the P's and Q's. Like when someone needs something, I say, hey, I need you to send me in a nice list. I want the list to say, especially like a festival run, for example. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, give me a list, show me all your festivals, the due dates, the submit dates, and then the price for each, and then we'll table out a payment schedule. Don't send me just random screenshots of like things from the websites. I'm not gonna scroll through. I'm busy, like I'm not gonna take the time to be like, oh, like I'm like, guys, I need short, sweet, concise, precise. I want to just make a decision
Yeah,
and then press
yeah.
send. I just want to be able to decide, not evaluate all the time in that headspace. And that's what I learned with producing or trying to find financing. Like when I'm creating pitch decks, for example, for folks, I'm like, hey, let's try to be clean and precise on what you're asking for. Let's get to the message quick because you don't always have enough time. It's like Shark Tank. I think about Shark
Yeah.
Tank.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I only got this much time to sell you to get this money. Make it sweet, make it substantial, but don't make it too long.
Right.
So I try to embrace that. Like I always tell people, you know, like I said, we don't have to we can add the layers of business and do it still with friendship, but under the understanding that we're just preparing for those future contracts with the big leagues, right? Like
Right.
we're preparing for that. So let's start now.
Yeah, yeah, I believe in that. A lot of times the indie artists, they don't understand the business side or nobody taught them the business side. So when they get a
Yeah.
project that is really good and they get either a production company or a network who wants to come and either buy their project or
Mm,
work with them, they don't get a good deal because they really weren't taught the business side of outside of being creative. So that is a good thing actually. That is a really
yeah.
good thing because I myself had to learn the hard way on some things and just it ended up working out for me, but at the same time, if I knew better, I would have done better. If I knew on the front
Yeah.
end, hey, this is how things are gonna be, this is how things are gonna get, people gonna double cross you, people gonna come in and use you. So you have to be prepared for that but hey, lesson learned.
Yeah. That's my scariest. I think that's the scariest thing I worry about is like getting into those situations and not doing my homework well enough, right? And someone crosses me or like I go because I don't expect to be like I don't really like I don't expect to be paid for certain things like when I'm
Right.
supporting. So it's like my heart and your trust is my currency of what you're paying me, like the emotional things. And so that to me is probably the scariest thing is like, man, if somebody crosses me, like there's a whole different side of me that the New York come out and it's like a cut you off game is quick and precise and
Hey,
unapologetic.
listen,
And then
I
I have
get
to
it.
sit there and then like I go, guys, I that's the scariest part, I think, because I hear these stories. I'm not from Atlanta, right? So I hear stories and I'm like, how do I protect myself from just in case someone,
Well,
You know?
takes
I
some and run with it?
I personally think that because the way you're meticulous, somebody's probably not going to try you as much because already that's a deterrent for a lot of people
Hmm.
that they just be like, oh man, like she's asking, look at this.
See, I feel like they would, but then she'll say something like, "Oh, wait, who taught her these terms?"
And then like, and on top of that, you're originally from New York. That probably comes up quick.
Hmm.
So like they were like,
So you probably smelling these scammers like, "It smells like BS."
I'm like, I'm not sure.
I think you can get a 30% return. Really?
Yeah, I'm
Uh-uh.
like, is that like I really want to know like what are you comparing it to? Like what have you used? Like what is your trend data analytics stuff
See,
that
once
you've
they hear
used?
that
What
stuff, it's
trends are
like,
you
"Oh,
That's
no.
what
using?
Oh, okay, you
hey,
got
You
it. You got
know?
it."
Like
Yeah.
I want
I don't want no
it's
parts of
literally
that.
like your projected
I
forecasting
can't
of your
even spell
ROI,
that.
right? Like I
You got it.
so
My bad. You have a
so
nice
I'm like,
day.
guys, your market data, right? Like I'm looking for all this stuff. And so I think for me, I go, that is the element,
And they're just like,
that
"Well, I
I
got a
need to see.
script."
Yeah, they like,
You
"Well,
know?
this is how it's supposed to go." Then you hit them with
Yeah, I'm
something
like, tell me
like
more.
you hit them with some the big words, they be like, "Oh, wait a minute, what's going on?
Ooh, Lord have mercy. Ooh.
Hey,
I
we ain't doing
know.
all
Yeah,
I
that."
no.
know.
I almost feel like that's your, kind of like your gift for especially the people you work.
Yeah.
You teach them the bit that them you learn from them from the artistic and
Hmm.
the setting up a film side, and they learn the business side from you, at least from a trusted person that's not gonna screw them over.
That's exactly how it feels. It's like I tell them, my like I said, my payment is the friendships I'm making, the networking I'm making, but also, learning. Like I was green when I came in. But most people go, you work like you've been on the set your whole life. And I go, I just execute. I think I
I
learn
mean,
fast.
you
I can
talk you
learn things.
talk
I'm an
like a
engineer.
corporate movie executive, so
Right, right,
Yeah, so I'm
right.
like, I'm an engineer, so my brain is literally always calculating.
Yeah,
And so I go, I learn, and so all I need you to do is allow me to be on the set with you so I can pick up some learning skills, and then I'm going to then apply it in something else I'm doing. But that's kind of how I look at it. Like, hey, I'll help fund your project and support you,
yeah.
but allow me to learn, teach me, because I want to take over.
So
That's the truth.
being a woman
One
being a
day.
woman on set, so I've had my experiences with being a
Yeah.
female director and running into those people who just don't listen. I'm a woman, so they don't really take me seriously. I've had times where I had to have these guys come in and say the exact same thing that I said, and it came out of their mouths and people listened. So how do you go about that? Have you ever ran into a situation where, you know what I'm saying, period, point blank?
Mm, not on a set, right? I don't think I've ran into it on a set yet. Like I've probably ran into it with other females,
Oh,
Really?
which is interesting.
That is
Yeah.
wild.
please elaborate.
That
Yeah, so like I've been on set where like I might speak up about something, and mind you, I probably wasn't a producer or AD on the set, but I've spoken up on things that, hey, we could this shot, right? Like we don't have to do this if we do this. And like I've had certain females push back and they just very stern about it, very what's
Caddy,
the word I want to use?
the B word,
Not so much
they
catty,
would they
but
would have
it was very stern. It was very in front
aggressive.
of everyone, like an aggressiveness to it. But I took it as, yeah, I'm triggered right now. Like I'm triggered right now. But at the end of the day, I'm not in the hot seat. Similar to their experience right now, they were directing and working, and maybe they've been in here longer, and maybe they had to grow this way. They had to mold this way, and all the other sets they've worked. They never worked with someone like me before, right? So like I said, I try to be mindful of it, but I haven't really felt it as much. Like normally, I've been pulled, like I said, every role I've played, I've been pulled to the side where they're like, hey, people listen to you. Especially when I started just as script supervising, where I did
right,
nothing else but scripting.
right,
Everyone kept coming like, you should be an AD. Like people listen to you. And I go, people listen to me because I care about their souls, which most of the world doesn't do anymore. That's the
they
difference. And nothing else. I actually care about who you are. And because of that, you gravitate
right.
to listen to what TQ says on the set.
Hey, I
Because
get
she
it.
smiles at me and she's so nice and she makes me feel warm inside. Yup, great. I love it. Now go do the job. Right? I'm here for it.
That's a good motivational boss right there. I love it. Now
Yeah,
go
I'm
do
like,
your
I
job.
just like to, yeah. And I tell people I manage people at my day job in corporate. So when you're managing a whole bunch of engineers, that always are thinking, calculating, you learn how to find how to make them tick.
Right,
I just do that on set. And so I don't get much pushback per se. Like, in the early years, yes, I've had a couple things where people don't listen to me, but I take it as that was a moment for me to learn something for the next project. So although I'll get angry in that moment, just finish the job, take away what you need to learn and use it on the next project. And that's why I like being the AD now, because I like to make things feel beautiful on a set if I can. You get more control to
Yeah.
set the tone, you
most
know?
definitely.
Yeah.
I was just realizing because your day job and then film, you tend to manage left brain people and right brain people.
I was waiting for someone to say that. Yes.
So
I'm a center brainer.
Hey,
I tell people that's my pitch at work. That's my pitch outside of work. I tell people I am a center brainer. So I live in the center, which is probably it feels rare and it feels a little lonely sometimes because when I'm with super passionate people who are more on the creative side, I feel like I'm too wordy and technical and maybe I don't know. I want to talk about like technical things sometimes.
and
But
it
then
goes
when I'm
over their
on at
head.
work, yeah, and then when I'm at work and during my day job and I'm talking about the film and sets and everyone's like back to airplanes. So I'm definitely very much different in both spaces. I feel unique in both elements, but I think it's a good way to have a blend. So I'm a center brainer. I can lean on one side when needed more than the other, but I need both sides to feel fulfilled. That's why I
hey,
have to kind of have two outlets of my life right now.
So as
One will choose itself, but
yeah.
I don't know when.
So do you think like being a center brainer has made you almost better at managing different people from left brain
Mhm.
people and right brain people, or has it kind of like you almost gotten your own approach from each side?
I do learn, right, on each side. Like it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum, right? So I would say when when I have from my left side of the brain when I'm dealing with more of my left people, I definitely will learn the environment. I think being a center brainer, I can look at more of my technical emotional intelligence in that perspective. So If I'm dealing with people that's more left or even more right, I'm able to analyze where they are on the spectrum, to know what tactics to use more of. So if someone is more of a left brainer, I'll tap into that more from my experiences and lean into that, but still use a human element of just understanding your personality style to know how to make sure I convey things appropriately to you. And then I'll do it on the right side, right? As well, where it's like, okay, if you're more on this side of the brain, and you don't really care about anything technical at all, you're more very just creative, I still am going to use the human element of getting to know who you are, but then I'm going to lean with tactics that kind of work with you more, right? A little more freedom, maybe a little more. Some people need more structure, some people need more freedom. I live within the spectrum. It's very hard. Everyone tells me I am a gift that keeps giving. I don't always know what that means, but they say, someone like described it like, in boxes, you keep opening up another
Right.
gift, and then there's another box, and you open, and there's another one, and they're like, that's TQ. Like, you never will know what else she does or says or think. She just is.
That is a
But I
good
like
person
living
right
that
there.
way.
You are definitely a good person. I'll tell you that much. You are
Thank
very
you.
giving and true and all that good jazz. And that's a good thing, especially in this industry when people would just want to come in and
Yeah.
take and disappear. So
Yeah, but it can feel lonely. I don't want to make sure the smiles doesn't make me feel like everything is all beautiful all day. Like, you can feel a little like isolated sometimes. I like to waver through things. That's why I don't work with just one crew all the time.
right.
Like, my only crew, I like to experience versatility and diversity, and so I like to float, like, and that's the weirdness there, because everybody's like, you're so technical, you're an engineer, and I go, yeah, but my soul floats.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't help that, and so I like to just float through people, work with this crew, beautiful, and then hop in another crew, beautiful, and then just kind of like navigate space that way. I don't
Hey,
I
I
don't like
will
to feel contained to one. So
right. I will tell you this, you can navigate over this way because, come work with
I feel like I'm
work with us.
auditioning for a job. So is this like an interview? I feel like I'm on an interview for
I,
your next job.
I didn't mean to
So
feel. I was going to say you're
call
you're
me.
you're absolutely you're the perfect AD because you can talk
Yeah,
Thank
you can
you.
really.
talk to both worlds. So
Hmm.
because directors that I deal with are very technical, and they can't communicate what they technically want to an actor who's not very technical.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Actually, no,
I was
but
like,
no, actually, no. I
Hey.
mean, that's probably been a time or two, but not really. No, you're actually because there are certain directors that are great with crew, and there are certain directors that are great with actors. Victoria's actually really good with actors, but I
Well,
mean,
I
mostly her.
appreciate that, Kevin. Look at that. He
So
gave me a
I
compliment.
can't.
Hey,
oh,
I
The crew is
appreciate
usually
that.
us, so I
Hey,
mean, we're used to it. So, but
I be
she's
yelling at them.
actually
I don't yell at them.
so
Don't let me say that.
so. But with actors, especially with and she has probably a little bit more patience than she promotes because she deals with new actors. So, and you have to have a
mm,
lot of patience dealing with newer actors, and she seems to kind of like molding newer actors. Because I think projects we've worked with, we've had a first time actor on there, and
okay.
you kind of have to have patience because they have no idea what they're doing.
I think it depends though too when you talking about VA. Like,
Here we go.
no, I'm not
Here
even
we
saying nothing
go.
bad. Like, I'm saying like when it comes to like this craft, like she actually has like quite a bit more patience, probably than either I or Kevin or I, say it correctly, right?
Patience is a
Yeah,
virtue, they say.
yeah.
So
They are
it's
giving me
good.
I,
they
I
giving me
say that
compliments. I'm a little worried. I might not.
No.
You might not need to
Here
log
we
out of this.
your
here,
energy is resonating with us.
yeah, here we go. Here we go.
This is weird.
You do have a peaceful energy, though. You
Who
have a calming
who
energy.
me?
Yes, you
I
do.
guess.
I can feel
Look at
it.
their
You have a
faces.
calming
Look at their
energy.
faces. Look at their faces.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
No,
Like, it's a little calm. I can feel a
I,
calming, like,
I'm glad you felt that.
I will tell you firsthand. I will tell you firsthand. Like I remember being on a couple projects and I asked VA to like help out and like kind of being anxious. And then she show up and I'll be like, "All right, I'm good. Good.
no,
Regardless, I
don't
know I'm gonna get what I need."
don't tell me that. My brain
that's
be
great.
1,000 miles, man.
No, but I'm saying for me.
Thank you. Yeah, for you.
For me,
Thank
I'm
you.
good.
You
I'm
know
good.
I
why?
appreciate
Because
that.
this load is on you.
Well,
All
hopefully,
this is going on.
So that's
You've
what
been,
it is.
you've
nah,
been promoted
Hey,
to
hey,
director.
nah.
listen.
Hopefully, it's not that bad.
No,
Hopefully, it's
hey,
not that
I'm
bad.
telling you right now, then your next project, I'm definitely you gonna be the director. I'm gonna sit back and not do nothing.
Then why are you there? Moral support?
Yep,
Creative,
you
creative
yep,
consultant is what I
creative
say.
there you go, creative
Creative
consulting, there you
consultant.
go.
See, you're too good at that. Yeah, you're way you should be an executive at Netflix at this point. No.
Telling people I've been trying to come. I tell people I'm trying to come there. I'm trying to get there. I tell people I'm trying to find that navigation. I'm hoping the story of jumping from aerospace world to the film world would be interesting enough one day that someone goes, "Wow, maybe we should take a chance," you know?
Hey,
So we'll
maybe you
see.
should make a film or mini series about your job. How about that?
As long as my job doesn't lose their mind. It depends on what I talk about. But no, I do have,
Like,
I
yo, we need
do,
to read that script
yeah.
first.
Yeah, I was like, anybody ask some
Hey,
questions,
you can
but
change the
I
names.
definitely
Just
interested.
change the names.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
That's true. I do have a script about me leaving my job one day. I did write something, but I never,
while
sitting
I'm
on a
thinking about it,
computer.
I actually recommended this. It's a documentary. Are you familiar with Bill Withers?
Yes.
There's a documentary called Still Bill. I think you would probably enjoy it. And like he
Okay.
actually was it like a fabricator,
Yeah.
so like a sheet metal guy.
Mm,
Like at the time he was like kind of coming up, and he didn't quit his job for a while because he didn't know the
yeah.
fame was gonna last. And then he actually like wasn't really in the music industry that long either.
Hmm.
It's a very good documentary. Still Bill.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe to give
I'm
you
gonna
some
have to check it out because
inspiration.
I've been trying to get. There you go.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to see. I'm in that crossroad where it's like, I've been in the aerospace world for about 14 years, and I'm like, well, I've only done this for 2. I kind of want to just jump out and do it full time and just see how it feels. But then I tell people I might not be able to EP as much, right? But then I get to then I get to practice how to pitch and bring in money. Like then I really would get to focus on what that would look like, and that excites me because I love salesmanship just a bit. Like I think it's kind
There
of
you go. There
fun to
you
be like,
go.
hey,
Oh,
let me
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you why you should like support this.
There you
So
go.
we'll see.
Hey, listen, sometimes you gotta jump out on I know you jump out on faith all the time, but sometimes you gotta jump out on faith, and see
Uh-huh.
Tell your
see where it
husband
go.
before you do that jump, though.
He always like, I think you should do it. He goes, I don't see you staying in engineering for forever as your career. Like, yes, you can probably go and be a vice president one day or something, but he's like, I don't see it. I think, you know, I don't want to get sad, but when I first got the supporting actress role, my dad had just suffered a stroke, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got casted, I remember going to in Jersey because that's where he was, and I went to Jersey and I was like, "Dad," he was was in a coma. And so, I'm talking to him and I'm like, "Dad, guess what?" And my dad's an engineer, so I was like, I'm gonna do like a web series, and I'm talking to him and you know, he did pass, rest his soul, but he passed in the midst of me filming that web series, like I came back down and I finished like after his service, I finished the last weekend on set 'cause I told the director, I don't he was like, "Are you sure you can still do this?" I was like, "I can." Like, like I think I was called for this. I think his sunset was my sunrise, like it was a transitional period. And after that, I can, I've never lost a parent, right? So that was the first experience and like life changed. And
Right.
I realized engineering is a part of me, but that's a version of me that I already been living. And now there's this new version of me that I have to explore. And I'm ready to explore, but sometimes you got to shed the old skin
Right. Right. Most
to
definitely.
really explore. So I'm in that season where I'm sure shedding a bit, and it's scary because I don't recognize myself, but I'm liking this new person. No one knows me at TQ at work. Like I don't go by that name at work.
Hey,
It's like an alter ego thing, and it's kind of exciting to like Google yourself, and you're like, gosh, look, my film stuff come up before my concrete analysis. Like so it's like so different and it's mind-boggling, but like I'm grateful because people sometimes stay in something their whole lives
right.
and never try to de-shed that skin to jump into something new. And I'm like, I got one life. And I learned that life goes like that. One
Yes,
one
it
thing can
does.
happen and
Yeah.
it's taken from you. So I go, I guess it's time to wake up and I guess it's time to live.
Most definitely. I too lost my father, but at the same time, I knew that his transition was my kind of uplifting because I wasn't gonna scale above a certain level while he was still around because,
Mm,
I was attached to him by the hip. So I totally
yeah.
get that. I totally get jumping into something new, transitioning yourself, and sky's the limit for me. So hey,
Yeah. It is, isn't it
yeah,
though?
yeah, sky's
I
the
told
limit.
people, I was like, I'm the one outside looking up all the time. They're like, TQ, what you looking at? And I'm like, it's just open. Like, don't you guys feel it? Like, we literally could do whatever we want. And I tell people, the world set these rules, but I'm learning that
Right.
you don't have to always subscribe to those rules. You
Exactly.
can kind of do it how you feel like it needs to be done. So that's the
Exactly.
plan.
And the thing about rules, they don't necessarily apply to everyone. And as someone who actually
Exactly.
has pivoted from one career to another, I would say, I mean, you've done this in 2 years. You seem like you built a name for yourself and garnered a bit of success. Also, there's a point in which you can get so successful at like your day job that it may be almost too hard to leave it. So there's a
That's
point.
where I'm at.
Yeah, you go
That's where I'm at.
because I mean you could be the vice president of the company you're working at. Then it's like you leaving it like that that type of money is kind of hard to leave, and like then it gets a lot
Yeah.
tougher. So not that I'm telling you to quit your job.
No, but I'm interested. Like you saying this, I'm like, I'm gonna pick your brain to understand that leap of faith you took, you
Uh,
know?
so when I did it, now it was so I was working at FedEx. I had did it for like 14 years, and I knew I went. Well, I originally went to college for radio, and then while in college, I turned it up and went to news, which is where I'm at now. And oh, it was scary. Now, so because I went for how it happened to me, I went for another position that would have paid me a lot more money. Failed the test. And there was like, yeah, it didn't work out that way. So,
Congratulations.
thank you. So there was like, you could go back to this job or you can resign. So I thought about it I even prayed about it for like a few days. And I was just like, I like the thought of going back to where I was sickening.
Mm,
It was just sickening for me. So it wasn't even
mm.
in my soul anymore. So it's like,
Ooh.
it was like,
I feel like that deserved one of these. I'm
so
sorry.
The clock and the T.
Oh,
clock the T as you may.
yes, yes.
So it was just, when they, not that I get really religious much, but I've heard people say when that sometimes God speaks to you when there's an overwhelming feeling. And I just
Mhm.
had this overwhelming feeling of I can't do this anymore. So I ended up quitting. I mean, I had a job in radio, but it was literally a part-time job. Like I was just working weekends. So for about I think 3, 4 months, I had no job outside of that. And I may try to like
Yeah.
pick up and freelance and stuff. Nashville is kind of good for that. I had a friend that worked at a news station. He luckily, I would say, I think, yeah, a few months in, he just told me to put a resume in, and I got picked up. I was probably at my last dollars when they called me in for an interview, and then like maybe 2 weeks after that, I got the job. So it worked out for me.
Wow.
And look at him now.
So
I
He is
I
know.
do
Mr.
every
I
Man
know.
now I do everything.
doing
That's exciting.
everything.
That's
Yeah. So
beautiful.
now I'm
That's beautiful. Thank you for that.
oh, well, my pleasure.
Hey,
I
there you
just I
go.
it's just like when you're talking, I'm thinking like there's a point where she could be really because you could be an executive at Netflix. You sound like one. And you can
Thank
also
you.
be an
Ooh,
executive
I'll take that.
I mean, you like you're gifted. You can communicate in two worlds,
Yeah.
Mhm.
analytical and artistic. You can
Yeah.
kind of where there's a misunderstanding, you can create that understanding. And there's
And that's what I would love to do.
and I
And
think
and you're gonna get there. No doubt about it.
rather you
Thank
Hey,
got
hey,
to
you.
you can why don't you just, walk into Netflix one day and be like, "Hey, can I
I don't
schedule
know
a
if
meeting?"
I don't know if it works like that.
Yeah, if I could, I would be there.
Like somebody feel like
If
security?
I could.
Somebody's getting fired.
Not the
I,
front desk. What are you talking about?
I feel like Netflix got a lot of security there. 'Cause it's tough to
Yeah, I would
it's
think
tough to get
so.
a film on there. A conversation with these folks.
Kevin.
I don't think you just walk into Netflix. You may have better chance walking
Yeah.
into Google.
I think there's a strategy to it, right? I told myself if I can get a project that I can work with like A24 on it,
Oh
Man.
yeah.
then A24 will have their because I'm like maybe I could get through A24 faster than a Netflix contact.
It
So
Hey,
maybe
may
I could
be
get through
better
the
because
yeah,
A24, but A24 then had their contacts to Netflix, and I was like, maybe I could do it that way,
right.
you know,
maybe
but just
A24 is
got to
the route
create
you
something
should
they
go
love.
instead of Netflix.
Because I love A24. I've been buying a lot of their books and seeing how they did their writings and how they created scripts and the logic that they use. And there's a method to the madness of how
It
they make
looked like
everything
madness,
just,
but it's not at the same time. Yeah,
I know. It's like there's a technical sense to it, right? I'm like, okay, so you draw a circle, and this is how your movie is going to be, and timestamp. You got to make sure your events kind of connect all the way through. Like it's just this beautiful tree diagram, and I love it. And I love that there's more kind of like strategizing the
Right,
making of film a
yes.
certain way.
right.
And they present that a lot in what they work on. And I go the cinematography that they do, the type of shots. I go, I
The
absolutely love it. So
lighting,
I'm
all
kind of
the
All of
in
that,
love with
all that.
A24 right now, and
Yeah.
would love if I had the opportunity to work with them, and then we could get to Netflix,
I will say
and then we'll talk Netflix.
this past year, it's a lot of A24s that are movies that I have been interested in watching, and it's very
Hmm.
hard for me to be interested in movies now that I make movies. So the fact that
Yeah,
A24 is coming out with all these films that I really want to see, it is amazing to me.
yeah, yeah.
now.
I'm feeling them for sure.
I'm not necessarily a horror film person, but I'm glad that
We're gonna get him there. We're gonna get him there
eh,
though.
eh,
We're gonna get him there. I'm
That's how
putting
I
him in the
started
film.
horror. Horror's been my thing back in the day.
it's I don't like watching them, but being on the sets is actually pretty cool. I actually just
Hmm.
did one actually last year that's supposed to be released in August. But how?
I
Because
I'm
can't wait to see
excited.
that.
Congrats. Yeah.
I can't wait to see
well,
that.
thank you.
I can't wait.
So, well, because I think like I think it's Backdoor. That's the A24 film.
Yeah.
That's like it. I think they made it for like 700,000, and it's well in the millions at this point. And one thing I will say I respect about horror, it you can be creative on a budget
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
just can get maximum returns off of it.
Yeah.
Now, I
They
fear
always say horror gets the best ROI these days, especially like overseas too. You get the best return on a horror film,
Right.
if I'm correct. Yeah.
now because of that, I
You
feel
can. Yeah, you
yeah, oh
can
yeah.
get
Now I feel like because of that, these big studios is gonna be horror films all next summer.
probably.
Just scary.
Probably be a little horrible.
It is gonna be Fast and Furious and horror films. That's gonna be all next summer. The Rock will be in
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
them.
I've worked on one horror film. I think I've worked only on one horror film, and we just did a proof of concept on that one. But I'm excited. I was like, I haven't done anything else horror, but like I'm open to it. Like I think it's a different on that set. I was an EP for the proof of concept, but I also played that as the script supervisor. So to me, to watch like blood splatter and the number of like I have to be very clear on like where did the blood flow hit, right? Like
You're
like
very
you got to
analytical.
make
Oh my
sure.
Yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, how was your hand on the knife, right? Like how many, and I'm counting how many times you're doing the stab, and I'm like, all right, does that feel like a proper stab? This is a body. This is the weight of this person on the floor. Like the in and coming out, like is there resistance because there's a different matter of material that like I'm thinking about that,
Right,
Your
right.
and so
emails
just to
must
make it
be
look real.
strategious. I'm just thinking
Uh,
your your, your emails are
You see how she laughing?
a
Because
lo
they are.
a lo
Because they are. Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't even think of these questions. Oh my god.
yeah. Like everyone's like, TQ, that's a great question. I'm like, yeah, because I think about that. Like I'm trying to think about all of it if I can to make it seem real. I want it to be real for you. I want you to get the best. I do. I want you to get the best product at the end. So if I slack, I'm not doing you a service enough. And I gotta be on my A game.
Right.
Now,
That's what it takes.
now as we wrap this up, I just want to ask, what kind of movies do you, as far as genre and forms of storytelling, what kind of movies did you traditionally love to make?
So this is gonna be an interesting answer. So I prefer movies that hit the times of the world that teaches you how to be better people. So there's stuff I've worked where it's like one project that I'm working can be related to ICE, right? The things going on with that and family. So To me, that's an important aspect of movies and storytelling for me. I want people to watch something and think about, should I be a better human being? You know, like not that everything I've worked in touches that. Some things are really just fun, fun films. But what I want to see more of, the things that I focus on finding projects on, is things that hit in like grief, right? Like, let's not go through life feeling like zombies or
Right.
hollowed specimens. How do we feel again? How do we love again? How do we care about people aside from ourselves again? How do we? Those are what I look for. So not all my stuff I've worked does that to me, because like I said, some projects I'm supporting because I believe in the director feeling their feeling of success. Like, I'm focused on them feeling that feeling. The output might be like, okay, this is fun, it's cool. But for things I like working on, I want very thought provoking, very deep, very conscious type work. Things that matter in today's society. So I'm still navigating finding more films that do that more.
What was the last
But I do
film
write, so
when was the last
we're
film you
writing
think
right
you
now.
saw that has touched that for you?
The last film? I think it was it the A24 Everywhere? What is it called again? Everywhere, Everything, All at Once. Is that the one?
Great
That's
film.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know. I didn't know there was an A24 film
Yeah.
though.
That
Like,
I
that
but
think that's
that won the
A24, yeah.
Academy Awards.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
a great film.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Great film.
And to me, it was like just seeing how the relationship between, the mom and, and her daughter, and how in all these different dimensions, even when they're just stones, it's like there's still this relationship, and you still feel the relationship of them, of like trying to heal through each other. And it's this mom and daughter lineage thing where it's like, yes, this is the mom and this is the child, but then the child is like this inner showing of the truth of the mom that you forget
Right.
as you get into adulthood, right? So just the way that they visually express that, for me, it was like, an omnipresent kind of thing, like everywhere, everything everywhere all at once, because that's how life really is. We're just all different pieces of the spiritual movement. We're all kind of one big family in this world. We just don't operate as we should. We need to understand each other more. We need to love on each other more. We need to accept that, you know, people have journeys, and we should nurture that, even if that's your child. They might have a different journey in life. Doesn't mean just because you had them that they should do exactly what you've done your whole life. There's so much to unpack there psychologically when you think of it, that film. But to me, that was like inspiring. It was deep. It was heartfelt.
Have you seen
It was captivating. So
Have you seen Project Hail Mary?
no, I've heard of it, but I have
I
not seen
recommend
it.
it. I recommend
Okay,
it.
Project Hail
I
Mary.
recommend it
Okay,
for you, and I
you're
like
giving me
you.
a lot of good
Look,
stuff to go watch
you
now.
I think you're gonna like that one. I think you're gonna like that one.
Okay.
If they market it differently, I'm telling you, this generation's ET.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm here for that because I love me ET. ET phone home. Sorry, I had to say
You
that.
definitely gonna like you're gonna like the little surprise. It happens early too.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
okay,
gonna like it too.
okay.
I think
No, I
ending
definitely
this
want that.
on
Yeah.
I think ending this on a movie recommendation is actually pretty cool. I think this is a
Yeah.
perfect way to end this. So TQ,
Yes.
thank you for taking your time out to speaking to us today. This has been actually great. I've learned a lot from you. Hopefully you've learned a bit from us.
Just a little bit.
Mhm.
Just a
No, I've
little bit.
learned a lot, and I'm already excited to work with you guys. I'm already manifesting it.
Hey, look
Like,
at that.
I
Look at
we'll
that. She
we'll work
manifested it.
together one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm manifesting it
Hey,
already. So I'm
we
excited,
were
and
thinking it. Like
yeah.
this wasn't a job interview, but you got it. So,
Hey, we got some stuff coming up. So
yeah, call
yeah,
me.
yeah.
We lock
Hey,
in. So no, but
there
I'm
you go.
grateful, and I want to just say thank you for just reaching out to me. I'm super just honored, and just I don't see myself probably the way everyone sees me. I just am this like little thing
yeah,
to
because
me.
I see you as a film executive.
Okay.
That's
Because in
how I
my
see
head I
you.
go, I'm just TQ, I'm just chose, right? And so I just am grateful, that you just acknowledged to invite me. So thank you for
No,
that.
thank you.
And
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so I appreciate it. But no, I'm excited. This is great. And you guys are doing amazing. And I love your chemistry. You guys definitely have a great connection. So I appreciate feeling that through this too. I know I'm not there in the present form, but I can definitely feel it through the lens.
Well,
So
we're doing something right.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think we put something together that went well. You know what I'm talking about?
Better than my cooking.
I will say these guys, I don't brag on the people that I work with a lot,
hmm
but these guys right here are some of the best in the world. So
Nice.
yeah, they how come the camera's not on me?
That's
Hey, you just had it on him
Well, you
the whole
said
time I was talking.
you said these guys, so I think he did his job.
I was trying to
correctly.
get his reaction.
He had no reaction.
I was trying to get it though. Regardless of what it was, I was trying to get it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know that camera was on me. So,
There you
because I got a whole nother camera covering me, so I was just like, "Oh, for real? Oh my god, thank you so much."
Okay,
I took-
go ahead. Okay,
So,
okay.
once again, I am Kevin Mumphrey with my colleagues Victoria V.A. Jones. You can put the camera on
Thank you. I
I'm already
appreciate
ahead
it.
of you.
just double checking.
I appreciate it.
Go ahead and do your job. I'm like, God dang, man. Like,
And go ahead and put that camera on yourself.
look at this. Look at this right here.
Yeah.
Look, I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
You see that?
Don't
Man.
look at me. You need to look at him. Look at him.
No, I don't need to look at him because
Why?
he's like, I know I haven't been paying attention to you doing your job the whole time, but go ahead and do your job now.
Good job. Good job.
He's doing good directing. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, okay.
Now direct it on back to me. Great
It was
job.
already on you. Go ahead.
I can't see with that camera on. So thank you once again. That is a wrap.